So, okay,
I'm
fine, sir.
going live, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube also?
Yes, sir, sure, 100%, sir.
Okay,
చెక్
YouTube లో ఉంది కదా?
Santosh, verify.
yes sir, it is on live.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
We
it's
can start.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Upendra. Today he is here. Is kind enough to be here this evening session on this job interviews. Welcome all our student friends who are supposed to be the prospective employees of the top organizations of today. I invite you all to this very interesting session. I request all of you to be very carefully listening to all the inputs that I would like to give it to you. I also invite all my friends who are on my request to join the YouTube live. So this is about mastering of art of job interviews. It's a step-by-step guide for all of you friends. It's a masterclass one because it's a wide canvas. I prefer to take some important aspects today in this session, in this masterclass, and other remaining aspects of interviewing skills and all we'll be taking in the next masterclass session. So let's look at the recruitment interviews, the different perspectives. You know pretty well that the companies now have a tough time to interview candidates, and highly competitive environment the organizations face, and they require the top class talented individuals into their workforce. No compromise, my dear friends. So you are supposed to be on your toes to equip yourself with the necessary skill set to walk into the interview board and get selected. Let's examine first conceptually what are interviews and why these interviews are a model today. Right from times immemorial, we have this kind of interviewing technique to get employees, so to get prospective employees into the organizations. Say, what are interviews from the employer's perspective? Who wants to interview candidates who will be welcoming you all into their organizations? Recruitment interviews are structured interactions where employers assess a candidate's suitability for a specific role, focusing on their skills, experience, and cultural fit and potential contribution to the organization. Please carefully follow the sentence here. It's a structured interaction. It's not a freestyle, mind it. It's a structured interaction. That means here you should be extra cautious in conversing with the prospective employer. And what is this conversation is all about? It is to assess candidates' suitability for a specific role you have applied for or organization interested in taking you in. And it focuses on your skills, your experience, your cultural fit, and your potential contribution to the organization. So, why this purpose of interviews here? Why these interviews are being conducted today? It is for evaluation of technical, interpersonal, and organizational skills. They would like to test you on this. So again, identify candidates who align with company's values and long-term goals. Organization has long-term goals and has values, so they would like to test you whether you can align yourself with the company value and the long-term objectives as such. So on the basis of so many things and parameters, they select individuals who can address business challenges effectively. This is the perspective of the employer who conducts the interviews. The key employer activities here is setting clear criteria for evaluation. Please note that they are very much interested in setting a criteria for evaluation, and they structure the interview to cover technical and behavioral aspects, very many we shall see a little later, and assess the candidate's problem solving and decision making skill, especially when the students of MBA and when you walk into the managerial positions as such. So the key employer activities in the conduct of interviews is this. So let us examine from your perspective, employee's perspective, what is that you would like to take in when you would like to appear for an interview, job interview. Now, from your definition, you see, recruitment interviews are opportunities for job seekers, minded. It's a very good opportunity for you to seek a job, to showcase their competence, students' competencies, prospective employees' competencies. See, it's high time for you to show the competencies here whenever you have 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes interviews that are taking place. And understand the role and company culture, because you will be interacting with the individual employer and his team, and you can as well understand whether it is a good company for you to walk in or not, and you can understand the role perspective and also company's culture and all that, and determine if the organization aligns with their career aspirations, meaning that you have your own career aspiration, whether you can align yourself with the organization's roles and all that, you can as well examine in the interview as such. So, what is the purpose of the interview for you to take? It demonstrates specifications, qualifications, skills, and experience. It's a time and it's a platform for you to demonstrate your qualifications, skills, and experience. Of course, half of the job is done through resume. You'll be, before appearing for an interview, your resume will be there. That means your track record and all that, your educational qualifications, skill set, experience, if any, will be there on a resume. So the interview also will be a supplemental platform for you to demonstrate all these things and assess if the company provides growth opportunities and work-life balance. You can examine in the interview itself if you can have a very fair chance of interacting with the employees. Today there are democratic settings in which the interviews are taking place, in the sense that you need to converse with them as freely as possible. You can also assess company whether the company provides your growth opportunities are there or not, and whether the work is very heavy or you can manage your work life balances, etc. All these things can be made known in the interviews, provided that you have you have a strategy to intelligently use the conversation with the employer and build rapport and establish credibility with the potential employers, meaning that you go for your honest presentation of yourself. As such, it can build rapport with the prospective employer, and also it establishes credibility when you make your story clearly with evidence and all, with qualifications, expertise, experience, and whatever it is. It establishes credibility. So you must make use of every interview very, very effectively, mind it. Don't take the things easy. So the key employee activities, why all you are there, researching the company and the role. You must have to know when you walk into the. We shall just discuss these things just now. You have to research the company and the role you want to have it in the organization as such. So whenever you see an advertisement or something like that, you have to research the company. You should know clearly what the company is all about and the role you want to play. And preparing to communicate strengths very effectively. Please note that you're supposed to be there to present your strengths adequately, because there will be no second chance, mind it. There is no second chance. If you miss out there, the interview would, communicating your strengths, then you're lost. So you are supposed to prepare yourself with communicating strengths very effectively. And then, of course, you can ask questions also if you want some clarifications or some doubts in the minds, or in your mind regarding some expectations of yours about the company or about the role you want to have. So you must be, extra careful here in asking insightful questions. All right. What are the specific skills needed for management graduates? Because this is a masterclass planned for MBA grads. So as such, I just would like to present to all of you friends here that I have in my mind MBA graduates. So in recruitment interviews, what are the specific skills that are likely to be tested? The first one is analytical and problem solving skills, because in management, what we say is the art and science of decision making, and apt, quick decisions, skillful decisions, creative decisions, dynamic decisions take the company to better results. So you should have analytical and problem solving skills minded. So employers, why this is important? Yes, employers seek individuals who can make data driven decisions. You must be in a position to collect data, analyze data. So every decision today is a data driven decision as such. And you need to solve complex business challenges once you walk into the company, irrespective of the role you enter. As such, for example, analyze a case study and provide actionable insights during a consulting firm interview, for example, there can be case study interviews also. We shall come to that. A variety of interview techniques are being used by the companies today. So that's why you should be extra careful here on having a skill, analytical and problem solving skills. The second important skill set you need to have is leadership and teamwork skills, team building skills. If you are aspiring for managerial position as such, executive positions as such, managers must inspire teams, delegate tasks effectively, and work collaboratively. See, you walk into the organization. You have a jardic relationship. You have your own subordinate, you have your own peer, and you have your own boss or a leader. So how good are you in teaming up? And if you have your own subordinates, how you're going to manage? So that's what we mean. That's a leadership and team work skill as such. So describe a time you led a project team to success under tight deadlines. For example, you may say you cite an example of your business lab, and this is the case study we have discussed. And I happen to be the leader, and I discussed among ourselves, and I have coordinated the things and all that. This is the way in which you try to demonstrate your leadership and team building skills, if at all question comes there. Then your communication skills, it needless to say, see, there is no second chance. Again, I am repeating, there is no second chance. So if you enter into an interview room, please be conscious that you're supposed to be very clear and persuasive communication. It is very essential. Not only clear communication, persuasive communication. That means here you need to persuade the employer to accept your candidature through your presentations, through your negotiations. And that's very important. See, the way in which you present yourself, that you are good in communication skills, persuasive communication skills, because this is very essential. This skill set is very essential for you to make presentations in a company, and before the bosses, or before the clients, or before subordinates. And you're supposed to be good enough in negotiations. For that also, communication skills are said to be very important. So explain a complex business strategy to a non-technical stakeholder in a simple manner. For example, create a hypothetical situation. If non-technical person is there, how you are going to explain a complex business strategy? So this is how it goes when we talk about communication skills as such. Fourth one is adaptability and resilience. Please, today, organizations are almost all organizations are competitive driven. They're not static, they are dynamic. So every time, a day in and day out, they need to manage crisis, they need to manage their change paths, and the path and all that, change for better. So employers value candidates who can navigate dynamic business environments and handle setbacks. See, everything cannot be good, right? No, see, everything cannot be good. For example, you how do you handle a setback? For example, you have a problem and the organization cannot transact a big thing. So all these things mean a lot for you. See, it is the human resource who are supposed to navigate these dynamic business environments. They also test you on this. How adaptable are you? How resilient are you in the process of building teams and leading the organizations of tomorrow? Because there may be crisis, yes, and change is not a destination; it's a journey. So it goes on. So how you are useful for the organization? So that's why sometimes you need to describe how you adopted a a shift and all that in your educational career and all that, how you delivered results, how you are going to handle the risk and all that, you need to explain. So another important set of a skill set that is very important is adaptability and resilience. Then, of course, is fifth one is strategic thinking and vision. So organizations also test you on your strategic thinking. That's why tell you that in case study analysis, again, you are supposed to be working out on strategies to handle a defined problem given in the case. So strategic thinking and vision. Vision means here organizations are for forever, right? So it's a perpetual legal existence. Companies defined as a perpetual legal existence. It goes on, and goes on. But again, there is some stress and strain here. So you need to examine yourself from the company's position 5 years hence, 10 years hence. So organizations need managers who can align with long-term goals. See, not today, tomorrow, day after, goes on. Organizations goes on. So they search for you people who can align with long-term goals of the company, and how best you are to handle potential challenges for the company. So that's what is very important. So that's why you need to talk in terms of your 5-year growth plan, etc., etc. For example, you're an experienced person, and say you work somewhere else and you're taking a new role in new company. So you need to explain clearly what is that. So that dimension is what we call strategic thinking and visioneering ability. Then about your technical proficiency. Of course, you can be a MBA from a finance specialization, or a human resource specialization, or a marketing specialization, or an operations specialization, or maybe data analytics, or whatever. Different things are there. So should you have the proficiency in tools like Excel, CRM systems, project management software, etc.? Yes, the answer is very definitely yes. So you need to master data analysis platforms, and it's very critical and very crucial also for you to have. So you need to showcase your ability to use different types of tools you have. That's what we call technical proficiency mandate. Next, of course, is emotional intelligence. This is a key factor, because once we talk about organizations, they look at human side of the organization. How good are you in emotional intelligence? That means understanding and managing emotions, not only yours, but others when they are working with you. This helps in conflict resolution and building positive workplace relationships. Today, the people are having a flexible work norms and all that. It's the next gen organizations with flexible work norms and all. So the texture of the organization is completely undergoing change in terms of human relationships as such. So how good are you in emotional intelligence? So you need to demonstrate, showcase your emotional intelligence scores as such, as a team member, how you're going to rope in every individual and all that. So emotional intelligence is another important skill that you need to demonstrate in an interview. Next, of course, is time management and prioritization is another important skill people looking at, because in a highly competitive industry today, you need to take very quick decisions, and with market quickness as such. See, if you take a lot of time, by the time you enter into the market with your decision, and you are too late. So what happens here? You should be extra cautious in managing time and prioritization. That means you are multitasker today, and you need to handle two, three, four jobs together, works together, and all that. How do you manage your time is very important. How you prioritize X when Y, X, Y, Z alternatives are there. Which one is to be prioritized and all. So the people also look at time management and prioritization skills also you have. So you need to demonstrate how you are going to prioritize tasks. For example, you're asked to say in this type of a skill, they'll be asking you, say they'll give you two, three tasks, and they may ask you, okay, prioritize and tell us which one comes first, which one comes next, and why. Explain the logic. So that kind of hypothetical questions may be there. So that's another important thing, is time management and prioritization is another important skill. Yes. Then of course is industry knowledge. Now, if you see, the first point I have already made a mention that you need to understand the industry for which you have applied for. So, in-depth knowledge of the industry trends and challenges, that's very, very important. If you demonstrate that preparedness, and it is very interesting, the employer looks at you interestingly. So you need, that's why I told you that you need to go for web search when you are applying for XYZ company. Know something about the company. What is XYZ company and all that. So the things are said to be very, very important. Say, for example, you are entering into retail industry. Study retail industry, and you can as well examine and say something like, say, for example, discuss the impact of AI on retail industry during the interview. If you have an idea, am I clear what I'm saying? So that's very, very important. Industry knowledge, the current trends, which will be influencing the industry and all that. Within the given time, you need to demonstrate. Please note, you need to demonstrate. There will be no second chance again. I'm repeating it. And the 10th aspect here is negotiation and influencing skills. How good are you in negotiation? Are you good on conscious conversations? How good are you in managing your relationships with, negotiate with clients, vendors, team members? Are you good in communication skills, negotiation skills as such? So you need to share an example where you have successfully negotiated. For example, you in your campus you study. So we have played roles, different roles like this, that, and I played a role of a negotiator with the a client or with the supplier. So I did this. You just try to converse with the employer in an interview to demonstrate that you have a negotiation and influencing skill component. Now let's examine. Having said that, there are certain fundamentals, mind it, on interview room etiquette, what we call it. These fundamentals are often overlooked. But of course, if you master those things, that create a lasting impression. Let us examine what are they. Most of the time, you feel tense, right? You will be sitting outside and taking a glass of, I suggest all of you to take a glass of water before we enter into an interview room, just to cut down your stress levels, if at all, if there is any. I'm not saying that interviews will be stressful and all that, but human intention is that when you would like to converse with a stranger, that to an employer, prospective employer, absolutely right, you have some sort of a tense in your mind and all that stressful scenario, experience it. Don't do that. Don't experience that. I'm just presenting you the fact that you are at a point of time you feel some sort of stress. So take a glass of water that's available and make yourself comfortable, cool, before you enter into the room. Now, when you enter into the room now, of course, I'm just hypothetically presenting. But I cannot replicate because we do not know what type of industry and what type of interview that you're confronting with and all. I'm just giving you certain fundamentals of interview room etiquette. How do you enter the room? For example, if the room is locked in the sense that it is just like that, is door closed. So it is the best possible, humble, convention is to knock and wait for it. Just don't knock and go. Always knock gently, not tapa tapa. Always knock very gently with the finger, folded finger, tuck tuck on the door. If it is closed, if it is open, you can walk in and wait at the doorstep so that you'll be asked to come inside. So, and wait for the permission to enter. Don't enter just like that. That's very, very, very important. Now, having entered, the second important thing you need to do is greet the panel. Walk in with a polite smile, mind it. Don't feel tense. Don't enter with a grim face. Walk in with a very polite smile. and greet each interviewer very confidently. Good morning, sirs. Fantastic. Good afternoon, sirs. Whatever. Good evening, sirs. And maintain eye contact while greeting. You just see, for example, there's a panel of 3, 4 members. Good morning, sir. You can have a look at the eyes of all panel members. That can be the good manners. And then posture while walking. See, how do you walk when you hold a folder in your hands or a bag or whatever? Now, walk upright with steady pace, not too fast or slow, to convey confidence. Walk like a gentleman. Don't take too fast walk postures or too slow walk postures. Walk at your own pace, but stand straight. Make your shoulders good. Hold the file in your hand. Either it can be a left hand or a right hand, whatever it is. It's best always to hold the file or a bag with the right hand. Or if you would like to shake hands, yes, of course you have to change the file. So better to hold the files or whatever in the on left hand to walking, and you should be extra cautious about the posture while walking. And again, dressing, we just come to that just now. So that's, you should be comfortable enough here. Walk upright with a steady pace, not too fast or slow, to convey the confidence. Now you're asked to sit down. Don't wait to be invited. Don't drag the chair and sit unless asked for. Wait to be invited. Do not sit until the interviewer invites you to. Of course, everybody will be doing that, but they want to test your manners also. That's why they may wait for another couple of seconds not to invite you to sit. So do not sit until the interviewer invites you to sit. If they do not politely ask, may I sit here? Yeah, the answer can be yes, definitely. So then the chair position, just see, pull the chair gently and sit upright, mind it. If the chair is put according to your convenience, go and sit there, or else pull the chair gently and sit upright. Don't relax, don't lean forward, don't lean backward. Sit upright, but be convenient. Don't sit at the edge of the chair. Sit comfortably, not too close or too far from the table. Adjust the distance. Can be 2-3 inches distance. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Don't raise like this. Avoid crossing legs excessively. If you'd like to cross your feet gently, not legs like this extra, legs excessively. That's not right. And you can set the feet apart, but not so wide. Keep your feet flat on the floor and avoid crossing legs extensively. Now, the posture of sitting. Sit with your back straight and shoulders relaxed. Note here, again I repeat. Sit with your back straight and shoulders relaxed. Avoid slouching, leaning too far back, or sitting rigidly stiff. Slouching means this way, that way, going this way, that way, and all. Leaning too far, too back. This is a clear signal that you're impatient. Or sitting rigidly stiff, like stone like. No, don't do that. Statue like sitting. So be a live individual as such. So posture, you need to be conscious about your posture. Then of course, yes, eye contact. Yes. Engage naturally. Maintain a steady eye contact without staring at people. Don't do this like this and all. Don't stare at them. Just maintain natural eye contact. Shift your gaze naturally between interviewers if it is a panel. If it's a one-to-one interview, you can straight away look to that individual and talk. But if there are panel, of course, even though the questions are not coming from the other members of the panel, but it is suggested that you need to shift your gaze, naturally between interviewers if it is in the panel. But don't do too fast and too repeated. Just like that. gentle. That's it. And you look interested. Don't get desperate. Okay, look interested. Nod occasionally while maintaining eye contact to show attractiveness and agreement. So nodding also must be at a pace. Don't do this. Not this is not advisable. Nod occasionally while maintaining eye contact to show attractiveness, attentiveness, and agreement with the members of the panel. Then, of course, balance yourself minded. But it is a peculiar experience of yours to sit before a person who is not known to you. But again, there's a panel who wants to test all your skills, attitudes, and knowledge, etc., etc. Maybe yes, of course, for anybody, it's quite natural that you feel nervous. But focus on the area between the eyebrows of the interviewer. If you cannot maintain eye contact, it's suggested by psychologists that you need to focus on the area between the eyebrows of the interviewer. It helps stimulate eye contact. Am I clear what I'm saying? This is a gentle hint. That's with reference to your balanced posture. Then, needless to say, now on listening skill. See, that questions come from the panel, right? Or one-to-one interview. So listen to the questions fully before jumping to answer. Mind it, it is suggested that you have to take a pause before responding. Pause means some time. So that's very, very interesting, because you can understand. At the given time, you need to understand the question asked. So listen properly. And a slight pause before speaking shows thoughtfulness. Note, see, yes, this person is very conscious of taking the question, and he's thinking about answering it confidently, and that kind of a signal you have to give. So a slight pause before speaking shows thoughtfulness again. And avoid interrupting. Mind it, never ever interrupt, even if you feel you know the answer, because you're not the master. Don't judge the knowledge of the panel members. That is impolitic, very, very impolite. So never interrupt, even if you feel you know the answer. Of course, if you are very confident of it, and if they ask you is it right or wrong, then of course you can convey your answer. Unless otherwise it is done, please do not interrupt. Let the interviewer complete their question. Whenever questions are asked, let the question be completed first. So don't get you're unnecessarily speeding up your answers, and without taking pauses and all. That's not right. Then, of course, speaking up tips. I have already told you again. You need to master to speak in a clear, moderate tone. Very, very moderate tone, because that's a gentlemanly behavior. Tone and pace are said to be very, very important in interview speech. So speak in clear terms, clear voice, and moderate tone. Don't be louder unnecessarily, or don't to murmur in yourself. Murmuring means slowly presenting the things, wherein the panel members they cannot hear what you say, listen what you say as such. So avoid speaking too fast or too softly. Too fast, of course, is problematic, and too softly also, which cannot be understood by the panel members on the other side. So avoid speaking too fast or too softly. Then use proper language, meaning that you need to practice. Of course, it's a conversation. There will be filler words normally coming up, like oh, yes, I. No, these kind of filler words are not good enough in this kind of fruitful conversations. You see, I am also using filler words to converse with you. It's quite but natural, but then because use proper language and you're supposed to be there in the interview board as such, so that's it. So use proper language. Avoid all filler words if possible. Be concise but thorough. When you are giving an answer, complete answer, give complete answer thoroughly and be concise. Don't elaborate unnecessarily because too long in answer may mean something not good enough. So that's it. So be concise but thorough. And body alignment, yes. Lean slightly forward when speaking to show engagement and also to show respect. Don't lean like this and try to answer. Don't lean backward. Not good enough. Lean slightly forward when speaking to show engagement, but don't invade personal space like this. Put your hands on the table like this and lean extra forward. Put the hands on the table, and that's invading the personal space of the other person interviewer. That's not good enough. Then hand gestures and body language. When you're presenting yourself in the interview board and such, you need to use subtle gestures. Use natural hand movements to emphasize points. So there's no point in waving hands like this unless you have a emphatic point to point out as such. So use natural hand movements to emphasize points, but keep them controlled. Extra gestures are not good enough, mind it. Then avoid nervous habits like roll down and twisting your fingers like this, that, you know yeah, hair, tossing the hair, or adjusting your tie and cufflinks. Not that, no, these are called avoid nervous habits. Refrain from tapping your foot like tuck 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 and all that, fidgeting and touching your face repeatedly like this like this, taking the handkerchief from the pocket. And no, these are all nervous habits. Please do not do that, because after all you will be there at least 10 to 15 minutes, that's all. So modulate yourself and modulate your body language and gestures as such. Next, then you have materials with you, like your professional folder, bag, or whatever you call it. How you handle materials with you when you are there entering into the room. Carry essentials only. Don't get luggage, lot of luggage. Important files, important papers must be put in a professional folder. See that the folder is good enough, is not torn this way that way, and it's not old enough, tardy. No, bring a professional folder containing your resume, certificates, and a notepad with a pen. That's very much needed, because something, you can note down a problem and work out for us. For example, they may tell you, or they may give you some assignment on something like that, for writing or whatever. So notepad and with a pen also is very important. Now, place the items very neatly. Place the folder on your lap, like this, on your lap, okay, or on the table if invited. If invited, because you're once you get into the table, you're invading the other person's space. So if invited, you can conveniently put your folder on the table. Otherwise, you keep it on the lap. Avoid spreading out items unnecessarily. Don't think, for example, you want to show your resume and collect it. Don't put it here. You collect it and take it to your folder, or put it in an order. So you certificate A here, certificate B there, certificate C there. Panel members will ask you again. You collect it and put it properly, right? Avoid spreading out the items unnecessarily. See, this is done unintentionally. That becomes a very tardy thing, that creates a very bad impression. Please do not do that. Then, now the questions start. All these are initial fundamentals of entering into the interview room, sitting, and all that. Fundamentals, manners, etiquettes. Now, questions. Answering questions. Answer questions thoughtfully. Don't give speedy answers. I've already told you earlier. Clarify If needed. If the question is not clear, politely ask for clarifications instead of guessing it, mind it. Don't guess. If you're not clear of the question, excuse me, sir, can you repeat the question? I couldn't understand. This can be excellent, posture that you can exhibit, gesture that you can. Stay honest. Admit if you do not know something, but express your willingness to learn. Sorry, sir, I just did not remember. I will check it like that. Stay honest. Don't bluff. Stay honest. Admit if you don't know something, but express your willingness to learn clearly. Then how about exiting the room when the interview is over, when the green signal is given that you can leave the room? How you are supposed to get out of the room? Of course, it is a sigh of relief for you to get out of the room, but then please, this also must be done very gracefully. Close gracefully. Stand up after the interviewer indicates the end. And of course, push the chair back very gently and thank the interviewers for their time and their attention. And smile, give a smile and leave. Walk out very confidently, maintain the same calm and composed demeanor. Please note that it's very, very important as you enter, as you exit. That's it. Okay, that's it. Now, let's examine some of the general tips nobody tells you. See, at what time you enter the letter you have received it, and the time, date, and all that is you receive. The first tip for all of you is to arrive early. Reach the venue 15-20 minutes early to compose yourself, but not too early to inconvenience the interviewer, mind it. Don't come half day early. Even if you are there, you please wait outside. Don't enter into the gate. So it is reaching venue 15-20 minutes in order to organize yourself is quite convenient, but never too late, never too early also. Then avoid over fragrance. See, most of us today use perfumes. So of course, some cologne and perfumes are okay, but then keep perfumes and other scents you use subtle to avoid overwhelming the interview space. If you're too much, use of perfume may be quite inconveniencing and embarrassing situation. Then third, handshake tips. Now, if you're offered hand to shake, then of course, handshake. Offer a firm but not overpowering handshake. Mind it, if the handshake is like this, look at me, handshake is like this, okay? Firm handshake, not like this. Firm handshake, but not fish crush as such, crushing handshake. Like, no. Overpowering handshake means you put the line, your hand like upper. This is overpowering handshake. Ensure your hands are clean and dry minded. It can be rough of something like that, or it can be wet. No, that is very, very embarrassing. But see your hands. Ensure your hands are very clean and dry so that the handshake can be convenient. Then avoid staring at the clock because maybe that the interview room may have a wall clock. Please do not ever look at the clock many times. If you have seen it, okay, but then keep your focus on the conversation, not on the clock means. Keep your focus on the conversation and not the time or surroundings. See, when you walk, you should be intelligent enough in looking at the surroundings. Please, I again repeat, when you are walking into the room, you please make sure that you understand the surroundings. But having sit there, having taken a seat and sat there, then your focus must be on the conversation, not on the time, not on other surroundings, please. And then, if you feel nervous, naturally, because it's quite an environment where it could be embarrassing thing for you because you're being tested and all that. So there's nothing wrong in being nervous. But then, if nervous, discreetly practice deep breathing before entering to calm your nerves. Mind it. You please do not do pranayama there. What I mean to say is deep breathing does not mean exhibiting pranayama. Right? Silent. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Because questions will come at a particular pace, right? No. So in order to calm your nerves and all, you please go for deep breathing normally. Yeah. Take small breaths. Next, mirror the interviewer's energy. See, for example, when the interviewer is energetic in questioning, the reply can also be at an equal, energy level. Don't be dull. Am I clear what I'm saying? So match their tone and energy while maintaining your authenticity. It builds rapport. So that's why what we say, it's a mirroring the interviewer's energy. Match their tone. Then thank the interviewer individually. If the panel is there, yes, of course, all the panel members might have interacted with you, or even one or two, but it is important for you to thank the entire panel minded. If in a panel, thank each person individually with a smile when leaving. So by practicing these fundamentals, you can present yourself as very confident, composed, and professional, and the qualities that set you apart in a competitive field. Mind it, that's a very interesting aspect when we note that preparing for interviews, these fundamentals are said to be very, very important. Now, preparing for common interview questions. These are very, very important again. Understanding the intent behind these frequently asked questions. You know what are FAQs in interviews mostly? Most of you might be knowing it. Again, I'll just for your interest and knowledge, I'm just presenting what are the FAQs, meaning frequently asked questions in most of the interviews today. If you understand, it can help you to craft impactful and structured responses for you from your side. Let us check. One, tell me about yourself. Normal questions, because that question may put you at ease. See, instead of asking you some knowledge-based questions, if you want to be at, if the interviewer want you to be at ease, the first question, normal question, very often repeated question, frequently asked question in an interview is, tell me about yourself. Do you know what is the purpose of this question? So this question is aimed at understanding your background, highlighting your qualifications, and seeing how well you can summarize your professional journey till this day, your academic exercise, your things like, okay, which you want to share with. Of course, you may say that everything is there in a resume. Why I should? No. It's a question where they want to test your communicability and all that. So this question is aimed at understanding your background and all, and your academic journey and your distinctions, awards, and all whatever you call it. So tell me about yourself. Let's see how you answer this question. Start with a snapshot, meaning interesting. Begin with your education and most recent professional exercise. See, don't start with I studied LKG in so and so so and so. Where LKG to MBA, you don't have to elaborate. So begin with your education or most recent professional experience. You may say, I recently completed my MBA in marketing or in finance from XYZ University, of a college, XYZ College of ABC University. That's it. Focus on relevant highlights. Mention your internships, projects, experiences related to the job role. If you might have taken a project in XYZ industry on ABC topics. So you may say, during my MBA, I intended with ABC company. I interned with ABC company. I took internship. I did a project in XYZ company. No, that's what we mean by it. So Say, for example, I worked on a digital marketing strategies that increased my engagement by 25%. So I just learned this skill, that area, whatever it is. So mention that project work guide, project work details, and all that, and end with the present. What are you now? In order that your candidature must be counted upon by the employer. Conclude by linking your skills to the job. Sir, I am excited to bring my skills in a strategic planning, in marketing, or in digital marketing, or whatever you call it, to contribute to your team success story, what you want to give to the company. If you would like to say something about our skill set, please conclude by linking your skill set to the job, toward the particular job, and avoid long, unfocused stories. So don't go on speaking, and speaking without any objective in mind. Long, unfocused stories, no, please. If you have some worthy contribution during that internship or during the academic journey, find out and tell. So avoid long and unfocused stories. And sharing irrelevant personal details also must be avoided. So they're very, very problematic. So you talk something about hobbies which are not connected to the role. Say, for example, I'm good in stamp collections. And what is this? It's not in a way related to the role. Of course, we appreciate your hobby, but please do not. Sharing irrelevant personal details or not good enough. Please be sure about that. Please be cautious about that. The second question: why should we hire you? Another commonly asked question, frequently asked question. Tell me, why should we hire you? You know what is the purpose of behind this question? Yes, this assesses your fit for the role and how well you can articulate your unique value proposition, unique selling proposition. Also, we say USP. For in product marketing, you cannot be a me too product. Like, for example, you're buying a soap cake. XYZ soap cakes are there. There is Judd soap cake enters the market. Now the customer asks, what is Judd? The Judd must say, this is me. If you don't say me, if you do not say, if the Judd may not have any sales argument, it can be categorically said as a me too product. No, you are also should not be like a me too candidate. There are XYZ candidates and you are A. What are you now? What is your unique value proposition? You need to identify yourself, your unique strengths and all that, your unique advantages and all that. You have to find out all the points, plus points. So that's the purpose. So let's see, how do you answer it? First, you need to find out what the company wants and what you have a skill set or whatever you call it to give it to the company. Tailor your answer to the company's needs, please. Your company is, say, for example, expanding into emerging markets, and you may say that my experience in the market research makes me well equipped to contribute that growth and all that. Or you may say that, sir, my interesting area is marketing research paper. I scored 70% in that, and I'm very good in conduct of surveys. I'm very I like very much to conduct a market survey and all. See, this is how you are supposed to presenting yourself and identifying the company's needs. Tailor your answer to the company's needs and highlight unique strengths. I've been talking to you. What are your unique strengths? Mention at least 2, 3 specific skills or experiences that differentiate you from others. Mind it. Whatever skill set you have, whatever experiences you have in the past experience, if any, so that you must have to mention specifically. That becomes your branded unique strengths. Mind it. And then show enthusiasm. See, express genuine interest in the role and the company. So whatever statements you give here must be not dull and boring. Show some enthusiasm when you're expressing about yourself. Isn't it? You're selling yourself. Why can't you be with some sort of pride? you present yourself with your unique strengths and all that. So express genuine interest in the role and the company. Very, very important. And how about this structure? Yes. Start with the key strength or achievement. Find out what is the strength you have, what is the achievement you have already had, and relate it to the company's goals or challenges. For example, in your project work, you have done something which is said to be very appreciable by the company in which you have done your internship or project work. Identify that and state there. So this is my appreciation, sir. My company's appreciation where I've done. Relate it to the company's goals and challenges. Conclude by reaffirming your enthusiasm to join the team. See, you should be in a position to be enthusiastic, positive attitude to join the company. And of course, please avoid general statements like, I am hardworking, without any examples. Don't do that. I am hardworking means what is the evidence you have? So that's what it means. So unless don't drop general statements. Unless you have an evidence to talk in terms of, please avoid it. I can work very well. I will work. No, my commitment is very high. No, all these things are general statements to be avoided as far as possible. Comparing yourself negatively to others, that's again a problem area for you. Please. So, for example, I'm better than anyone else applying here and all that. I have a lot of things. No, no. Please do not do that. This is to be avoided. You speak about yourself, unique strengths, provide sufficient evidence, maybe through academic qualifications or your practical experience, appreciation from the earlier industry, whatever. All these things good enough. Otherwise, try to avoid evasive statements. The third, very often repeated question, frequently asked question is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? So somewhere, I know sometime earlier we were talking about SWOT analysis, personal SWOT analysis. Same here. So what is do you know the purpose behind this question? What are the strengths and weaknesses you have? Yes, strengths assess your suitability for the role, while weaknesses test your self-awareness and ability to improve. Having weakness is not, wrong. Mind it. You can confess that yes, sir, this is my weakness, so that you exhibit your self-awareness and ability to improve. They like it very much. Mind it, because recognizing the weakness is something fantastic. There's an ample scope for you to improve upon. So that's it. So strengths assess your suitability and ability for your role, while weaknesses test your self-awareness and ability to improve. Never ever fear to talk about your weaknesses as well. Strengths as well as weakness. Then strengths. Let's try to answer how your strengths can be put before. Focus on the role relevant strengths. Mention skills that align with the job requirements. For example, you're applying for a junior management trainee in finance department. So you need to mention what type of things, in maybe your academic certifications or skills, what you have, or your internship, what you call internship experiences, or your likes about the financial management or whatever it is, skills you have. So you need to provide a little evidence for that. Back your claim with examples. Say, for example, in my project work, I have done this, whatever you call it. Again, when you're presenting your, relevant strengths and all that, use always keywords. What are the keywords? Say, for example, highlight the qualities like problem solving, teamwork, adaptability, creativity, right? So these are based on the job description as such. So you use always, I'm good in problem solving, sir. I have done this, that, and all. So that's how you need to present your statements with these keywords. And again, avoid overused phrases like I am a perfectionist as a strength. No, without evidence, these are all vacuum statements. Please do not exchange overused phrases like I am perfectionist as strength is not good enough. And mentioning unrelated traits. Again, earlier also I was talking. I am great at cooking and all that. See, you're applying for a finance executive. Why do you talk about your passion for cooking? That's not relevant here. Please make sure that to avoid all unnecessary things. Then about weaknesses, how to answer weaknesses. Yes, of course. When talking about weakness is such a fantastic, transparent way of presenting yourself. Absolutely appreciable. But then be cautious. Choose a non-critical weakness. Like for example, pick something that doesn't directly affect your ability to do the job. For example, when you're applying for a finance executive, you may say that, sir, I am very poor in mathematics and I cannot go for mathematical calculations. Wrong. Absolutely, because that is directly affecting your job. Mind it, you're applied for finance executive and you say, now I'm very much worried about figures and all that. And see, I'm not good in maths, or I'm not good in calculations and calculated ratios and all. I'm not good. Then that becomes a liability for you. So pick something that doesn't directly affect your ability. Please note. Then show the growth process. What is that you want to say to improve? What are the action plan you have? Mention steps you have taken to improve. See, that, sir, I have some problem here, and I'm sure that I can make up my story. And these are the evidences. I'm doing this, I'm doing a practice, I'm taking a coaching here and all that to help identify the gaps and fill the gaps here and there. And always stay positive. Frame your weakness as a development area, not as a limitation minded. Not as a limitation. There's a scope for you to grow. So put your statement straight away like that. That is highly appreciable, because that kind of a thing, like, you have every reason for you to accept the limitation and again grow it. Don't put it as a limitation, but it's a put it as a development area. I am improving in that particular area, and show the evidences as such. And the structure of the entire thing is, state the weaknesses very honestly, don't lie. Explain you're addressing it. I'm attending to that particular weakness, sir, and I training myself, and whatever you call it. Highlight improvements you have made. Yes, sir. Yesterday this, today this. So I have been learning this, like that. And again, avoid saying you have no weaknesses at all. That is too much of a thing. It shows lack of self-awareness. You'll be branded as a big what I call big buffoon. See, you may say that I have no weakness means what? Never ever say that. It shows lack of self-awareness. You're not sure about your SWOT analysis. Wrong. Highlighting critical flaws like I miss deadlines, I don't handle stress well. These are not expected answers. For example, I miss deadlines always means what? This is a critical flaw. You're not supposed to be there as an executive in a company. How can we accept you as an executive? Because you have to work out on deadlines. You have to manage your stress levels. So please do not highlight critical flaws like this. This becomes a liability for you. The general tips for all questions before we close here. First tip is that practice STAR method. What is STAR method? We shall see a little later again. Structure your answers with a situation, with a task, with action, and the result to provide context and outcomes clearly, very clearly. We shall discuss that in a part 2. And be authentic always. Avoid memorizing answers word for word. Please note, let the answers be as honest as possible, as natural as possible. Focus on key points and adapt naturally. Don't memorize the answers. Third, stay concise. Don't elaborate unnecessarily. 2-3 minutes more responses. That's all. Keep answers focused and to the point. And 4, confidence is the key. Never ever feel nervous. Use positive language always. That means I can do this. Don't say I do not have this. I can't do that. No. Use always positive language. Maintain a calm tone. Mind it. Don't get agitated. Of course, you can be emotional while explaining your experience and all that, but can be in a calm tone only, and show enthusiasm always. Bubbling enthusiasm must be demonstrated as such. So, by preparing and structuring the responses to these common questions normally, yes, of course, definitely, my dear friends, you will showcase your strengths effectively while demonstrating professionalism and self awareness. Mind it. Wish you all the best. We stop here. In the next part, we will be taking up other things. Okay. And the forum now is open for discussion. If any doubt or whatever it is.